So in this video, I want to talk about how it's so weird, in my opinion, how many people are obsessed with crashes, talking about it, trying to time it. If you actually look in history, any crashes we may have had, and it's hard to even call them crashes, there were never many people that took action. There wasn't a large amount of people that took action. And in a perfect example of this specific product here, Prismatic Evolution's Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Boxes, which I think this is probably the closest thing we ever really saw, as a crash in recent times, at least in my opinion. You hear so many people now calling this market a crash. I personally don't think it's really there yet. And to be honest, I don't know if we're ever going to see a real crash. It seems like crash is just a subjective term. It's like, okay, what is considered a crash to you? Is 20% a crash, 30% a crash, 40%, 50%? It's like, it's all subjective, it seems, because people are like, oh, 20, 30%, that's nothing. Some people are saying that's a lot. I think 20 to 30% is a pretty moderate downturn. But I don't think it's a crash at that point. I think a crash is like 40 to 50%, because when you get to that point, it's a pretty big drop. And we saw this sort of, I guess, crash or whatever you want to call it with this product. I'm just going to use this as a perfect example of why are we even talking about crashes when nobody ever does anything. Like, who cares about crashes if you're never going to act or do something about it? It's like, it just exists. Okay, it exists, and what are you going to do about it? You're going to buy, you are going to try to time it and sell beforehand and then buy into it again. Like, what is the point? That is the thing I've never understood. So many people, especially the ones that are obsessed with calling this a crash now, well, what are you doing now that you think it's a crash? What are your actions you're taking? So I'm just going to give you guys this example, and you guys can let me know what you think. So I remember Prismatic Evolution's Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Boxes. When they were getting reprinted, right? Prices first initially dropped to about $240, $250. You guys remember that? I bought some during that time. Some people agreed with me, but a large portion of people did not. If you guys remember, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's still too expensive. You're buying a PC ETB at, $240, and at that time I was buying them for like $220. You're paying that much? It's still what, like quadruple MSRP? Like, are you crazy? But in my mind, I'm like, it just dropped from $350 to what I bought them at $220. You're telling me that big of a drop for a specialty product is, also is a bad idea? And that to me was astonishing. I'm like, this is a great opportunity. But people were like, no. Oh, it went down, but it's still not a good buy. Okay, we move forward. Prices go back up. As you can see, the first dip we saw, well, other than, I guess when the set released, prices dipped, and then they quickly went back up. But something extraordinary happened, right? We got a second reprint. This brought prices even lower because the starting price before the actual reprint of the second one was lower. So when things got reprinted again, it went a little bit lower. It went all the way to like $220 market price. And I bought even more. And still people were having a rough time deciding, should I be buying this? It's like people were asking, should I buy this PCTB at $200? And in my mind, I'm like, what are you waiting for? Prices a few months ago were, $350, and you can now buy it for like $200. What kind of question does there need to be asking, should I buy this? It's a specialty product. It's gotten reprinted multiple times. Like, what are we doing here? Prices, they crashed from $350 to, if you can buy it at $200, that's a big decrease. But look at how many people didn't buy. There's plenty of people that didn't buy because so many people were against Prismatic and it being always over MSRP. It's, overpriced. But even when prices relative to where it was at crashed, no one did anything. There was not a mass amount of people saying buy Prismatic PCTBs at, low 200s, when I was at 220, there weren't many channels saying buy this, right? There weren't. I was there for it, trust me. There were not many people saying this is a great investment, because people were like, oh, it's still too expensive, it's still quadruple MSRP. So this is what I'm trying to say here. Why does it matter? If no one's gonna do anything when these crashes happen, why are we even talking about it, right? I feel like if we're gonna talk about a crash, there needs to be something, an after effect or something that we do after a crash or beforehand. But I guess one thing that people are doing is selling because they're scared. I guess that is one thing. But other than that, when the crash actually does happen, and after the crash, what is your plan? Are you actually going to buy, or are you not? So many people miss the boat. Whenever they say, oh, I'm going to buy the dip, they never do. And even now, I know there's some arguments, some people saying there's not a dip. Guys, there's a dip for some products. You can buy some products at for some things like 30%. That's a pretty big decrease. I don't care what anyone says. If something has gone down 30%, even from its all-time highs, I don't care. 30% is a big decrease. If there were sales at, for example, a booster box for what should we use as an example? Maybe let's just use like Lost Origin, right? It was at $900, and there were some sales that there, right? It wasn't just like, oh, I hit there and like it just started going down. It wasn't like when Destiny Rivals got bought out and it went to like $700. It wasn't like that, but there were sales at $900. So when Lost Origin was $900, and now it's what you can buy them, some of them for sub $700. You're talking about a $200 drop. That's over 20%. Lost Origin is out of print. It's a very good set. I mean, to me, that's a pretty big drop, especially for an out-of-print product. It's like, how much further do you really think prices are going to drop to? Because in my opinion, like I said, I mean, crashes are subjective. What do you want to call it? I think it's pretty close to where it's going to go in bottom out. That's just my opinion. Just where, I see, other products at. I feel like that's pretty low. It's like, what are we waiting for? You just saw a 20-something% drop on an out-of-print, super, obviously great set with the Giratina. If you're looking to invest into this product, what are you actually waiting for? You just saw, a huge decrease. Are you waiting for it to go to $500, $400? It's like, what are we doing here? People try to time these dips, these crashes too much. I know some people don't like to talk about it because I guess some people are against this whole strategy. But seriously, buying along as prices are going down, I mean, that is probably the best thing you can do, because you truly don't know where the bottom truly is. You don't, right? We can make some estimates based on maybe other sets and how we've seen things historically perform, but you can't really time the exact bottom. You can get an idea, but you never get that exact dollar bottom. And therefore, if you don't catch it and you wanted to hit that bottom, you're never going to end up buying it. So for any product, right, that goes down in value that you're trying to invest into, right, unless there isn't, a 100% confirmed reprint or something going on, and you're just waiting for that supply to hit. If there's just a price decrease in the market like we're seeing now, especially for like out of print stuff, when you see these big price dips, what are you waiting for? If we're obsessing about these crashes, you must be doing something about it and not just talking about it. I feel like so many people, if you're going to talk about crashes, have a plan on doing something. Because other than that, there's literally no point in talking about it. For me, I obviously only talk about it because I talk about the market when things are going on. But for me, if I didn't have a channel, I wouldn't go online and be talking about crashes. Who cares? Because I'm in it for the long term. I'm not going to be selling this stuff in like a few months. It doesn't matter. So I've always talked about these price dips, these huge decreases we've seen in some of these products. This is just an opportunity to buy. And if you're not buying, then there's nothing to talk about. That's just my personal opinion on these crashes, these huge price dips. It should really only be talked about what to buy and what is, the opportunities there, because that's literally the only thing to talk about. Other than that, we're just yapping and talking about nothing, because other than buying when things go down, it doesn't matter. So that's all I want to talk about in this video. Let me know if you guys agree with this. Do you think that it's weird that so many people are obsessed with crashes, yet they never actually do anything when the crash happens? It's a strange thing. So that's all I want to talk about in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.